Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of TNT Daily. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and leave a comment down below and let us know what you think about today's news report. Now, let's look at our first news. As tension between the United States and China continue to rise, the Chinese Air Force took the advantage and once again show off their muscles. Let's look at our report from our reporter Cadenza and how China is showing off its nuclear capabilities.
After the visit of a U.S. State Department official to Taipei, China's PLA Air Force recently released footage showing nuclear-capable H-6 bombers carrying out a simulated attack on Andersen Air Force Base on the U.S. Pacific island of Guam, which is the key respondent to any conflict in the Asia-Pacific region. In the video called "The God of War H-6K Goes on the Attack," solemn and dramatic music is playing in the background as bombers take off from a desert base. Halfway through the video, a pilot is shown to release a missile at a seaside runway which looks exactly like the layout of Andersen, according to Channel News Asia.
Thank you very much for the report. Next news: as the conflict between China and India continue to increase, the Chinese official has recently arrested an Indian reporter. Let's look at this news in detail from our reporter Michael.
China's state-run newspaper Global Times said Sunday India has negatively portrayed the publication in connection with the arrest of a journalist Rajeev Sharma. Sharma was arrested on 14th of September under the Official Secrets Act for allegedly passing sensitive information to China in exchange for hefty sums of money since 2016. Hu Xijin, editor-in-chief of Global Times, wrote in an editorial that both the information release and the Indian media's coverage of the case had highlighted that Sharma had written for his publication, which is enough to create a negative association against Global Times. Hu Xijin emphasized that Global Times has a large number of freelance writers all over the world. He specifically referred to references made in media reports which stated that Sharma wrote for Global Times from 2010 to 2014 and was noticed by Chinese intelligence. The print had reported that the police found Sharma to be in possession of some classified defense-related documents, and some on foreign policy, the Dalai Lama, army movement, and positioning on the India-China border. A police source had said Sharma disclosed that he was about to send critical information on the India-China standoff, along with secret documents, to his handlers in China.
Thank you very much for the report. I want to do a little corrections right here. At the beginning of this news report, I said that Mr. Sharman was arrested in China, but to correct this mistake here, Mr. Sharman was actually arrested in India for passing down critical information to the Chinese government. Next news. We have right now, as the tension between the United States and China continue to rise, the United States has made new regulations to crack down on TikTok and WeChat. Let's hear the news report from our reporter, Chef.
The Central Committee of the CCP issued the revised regulations at the end of August. This time, the focus is on WeChat. The new regulations showed what is forbidden to say on WeChat, stating that it will be implemented on October 1st. The new regulations are vague as usual and easier to use against anyone that CCP wants to attack. Let's have a look at the 7 regulations. 1. Major issue of principle are not consistent with the central government. 2. Announce publicly adhere to stance of bourgeois liberalization. 3. Public publication violates the 4 basic principles, violating and distorting the CCP's reform and opening policy. 4. Random comments on the CCP's general policy undermine the CCP's centralization and unification. 5. Slander heroes and role models. For instance, if you say Mao killed 50 million people. 6. Creates and spreads political rumors. 7. Divulging, spreading, spying on, or stealing the CCP's official selection and appointment. Disciplinary review, inspections, and other matters that have not been made public, or other content that should be kept confidential. And remember, if you break one of them, you'll get in trouble.
Thank you very much for the reporting. Next news. Is the Cold War between China and the United States going hot? The Chinese Communist Party has recently enforced a new law to start mandatory conscription of the Chinese citizens. Let's look at this news report in detail from our reporter Crystal.
In the Chinese constitution, military service is every citizen's duty during the times of war. There are 3 types of people who must report for duty. First, current military personnel, including one that are on leave, must return immediately. Second, home defense graduates must report to local authority after receiving notice. Third, during war times, the National People's Congress has the right to enlist male citizens aged between 36 to 45.
Okay, thank you very much for the reporting. These are all of the news we have for you today. Tune in once again tomorrow at the same time, and we will see you next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.